is jealous for me. When he loves like a hurricane, I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he and we are his portion and he is our prize. Drawn to redemption by the grace in his eyes. And if his grace is an ocean, we're all sinking. So heaven meets earth like an unforeseen kiss, and my heart turns violently inside of my chest. I don't have time to maintain these regrets when I think about the way he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves.
Good morning, Zion. It's good to see you again. It feels like it's been a couple of weeks. Well, we're glad you're here this morning. Variety of weather in Tennessee. Just never know. If you're visiting with us this morning, we're especially thankful to have you. We're honored that you would join us this morning. We hope you'll be encouraged by your time here. If you're a regular attender and need to know what's going on outside of the Sundays, you can find the announcements on page 14. Just to remind you, of course, today we have our guest preacher, Andrew Terrell. Thank you for being with us, Andrew. He's our RUF pastor, which if you're not familiar, that stands for Reformed University Fellowship. It's the college ministry of our denomination. And Andrew serves our denomination at Vanderbilt. So we're thankful to have him today. Coming up this evening, we will gather for a time of prayer from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock here in the sanctuary. We're trying to get that back in place after taking a little hiatus. We'll try to do that on the fourth Sunday of every month. So tonight at 5 o'clock here in the sanctuary. Also, Wednesday nights are getting fired back up. That will happen this Wednesday night. Dinner begins at 5. Bible studies at 6. There are men's and women's Bible studies. If you want to come on Wednesday night, of course you don't have to come for dinner, but it is available. And they're also available at the other time of the week. The women meet on Tuesday mornings at 9, the men at 6. If you want the worship guide for that, it's called The Shadow of Glory, and you can find information about that in your book. Also today, during the Sunday school hour, we have the Heart of Zion class meeting. This is a class, if you've been visiting and want to learn more about the church, then that takes place here in the annex study at 11:15. And in here, we will be meeting as adults. This quarter, we're letting our elders teach through some different topics. Today, the topic is fear. Not that any of us have any trouble with that, right? So if you're interested, I encourage you to stay here. And of course, after the service, we have a coffee break next door before Sunday school. Catch your breath. Well, one of the privileges I have in life, have had, is to be a father and now a grandfather. And one of the things that's fun about that is reading to your grandchildren. And a book that I'm getting to read to my grandchildren right now that many of you may already know about, it's called Sammy and His Shepherd. It's been around since 2008, so it's not new as a book, but it's new to me, and I just love it. And it's the story of Sammy, the little lamb who has the good shepherd. And Sammy's worried about the lamb that lives next door because he doesn't have a good shepherd. And it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And I wanted to share a piece of it with you this morning. Sammy is meeting with little lamb, who he names my friend. Sammy and my friend are talking, and Grandma Sheep comes up and she says this. Let me tell you about sheep. We cannot lie down and rest unless four things are done for us. First, we must not be afraid. We are easily frightened because we're helpless. Then there must not be any bickering with other sheep in the flock. We can be very cruel to each other. We must be peaceful. And this means we must be free from flies and parasites swarming around our heads and up our noses. And the fourth thing we need is food. We cannot lie down if we're hungry. Brothers and sisters, Grandma Sheep is right. We are gathered here today as the sheep of His fold. We are people who have a good shepherd, and we are ready for green pastures. We are ready for still waters. We are ready for paths of righteousness. We are ready to have our souls restored. I invite you to stand as we worship together.